I am here today remotely, obviously, because of the coronavirus epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, crisis at the moment, with the lovely Tania Swift, who is an early years expert, but she also works with our aging population. So we want to discuss what we're going to do and what we can do moving forwards with the announcement today that schools are going to be shutting, and obviously with the situation that care homes are in isolation. So Tanya, what are we going to be able to see over the next few months that's going to be unprecedented?
Oh, okay. Hi. Well, what I'm actually looking at the minute and working like crazy to do is, rather than giving parents and seniors just ideas of things to do, I'm busy creating lots of videos, activity videos that people can sign up to. And I'm also just trying to make it as affordable and cost effective and what have you, so that everybody can get involved. We want parents to be doing things with their children, but if there is going to be isolation, parents are going to need a break. So let's face it. So rather than them seating children in front of a screen where children are sitting watching, I'm trying to create lots of video activity videos where children will be in front of the screen, but they'll still be moving around, while parents are getting on with work or just day-to-day chores. So just so they can have a break, but then their children are moving and keeping active. And then the senior program, which is also for people with long-term conditions. It's quite a low-impact physical activity program that I have developed. I developed many years ago. It's trialed in care homes, it's trialed in the community, and the idea is getting people moving on a regular basis, but enjoying it and having fun. There is a standing version and a seated version.
Oh, amazing. Because
And
obviously there are people that aren't going to be able to be as mobile as others. And especially in the situation at the moment, they may not feel like they want to overexert themselves, but still feel like they're doing something to help with their immunity.
Yeah. And I mean, so I've been working like crazy to get this online. So what I'm going to do is just start launching one video next week, and then just keep on adding more and more content so that people can have a nice variety. But it's all just been sort of so quick, all of this, I guess the pandemic, it's been so quick. I'm just trying to get as much good stuff out there as possible. And the same goes for the early year stuff. I'm putting together activities that are good for children, for toddlers and preschoolers, into early years, foundation stage, early key stage 1. So, children up to about the age of 7. But it's stuff that hopefully they can all do. Some might be better for older ones, some might be better for younger ones, but I'm just trying to put in as much as I possibly can. On top of that,
uncharted territory, isn't it? So you're right. It's just giving people as many options as they physically can, and giving them the tools to kind of not go crazy at home. Because if parents are having to still work from home, there's, this isn't a holiday. This is serious. They need to do their work, and the children also need to develop. And you always say the best way to develop for children is through play. So I love the idea of getting them physically active, getting them moving during the activities, rather than just sitting at a screen, because that must be a real danger that we're in now, that, if we can't go outside, there's just a screen.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if you can go outside, if you can get into the countryside, or, go somewhere where there's not a lot of people, ideal. Get outside as much as you can, because that's the best place for a child. But if you are stuck indoors, especially if parents are working, and how do they look after their children at the same time they work? And I mean, I teach teachers and early years practitioners. I give them lots of ideas of what they can do with children. So what I'm trying to do is take those ideas that I give to teachers and early years practitioners, and I'm just going to be delivering them myself online. Yeah. And then for the senior program, I mean, obviously not all seniors are online. I will look at how I can somehow figure out DVDs or something like that. But right now I'm just focusing on getting it online. And then the third thing that I'm doing in partnership with yourselves is, you're going to be launching an online class, a virtual health hub.
So
And
basically, from Live Life Well perspective, Cheltenham Wellbeing Festival perspective, well-being is at the heart, the core of everything that we do and everything that we are about. So what we want to do is we want to deliver a program of a series of events that will happen throughout the day at key moments of a day when you might be feeling slightly down or thinking, how am I going to cope, to give you that serotonin boost, to keep you moving, to keep you active, to give you life coaching, business coaching. And I'll let you carry on. What are you going to do?
well, I mean, obviously, I'm hoping to give yoga sessions with some mindfulness. And I mean, when I say mindfulness, just kind of figuring out how we can cope, because we're all going to be anxious. I think it's quite interesting because obviously we work in well-being, and so we feel like this is our time to really step up and share whatever whatever mechanisms we have in place, because we live a life where we're coping a lot and we're dealing with things, and we do everything possible to feel good and to be resilient and healthy. So the idea now is for us to really feel like we can really step up and help you cope with this. And don't get me wrong, I've had my little freak outs already, but I had it, dealt with it, moved on. We're all going to find this really hard. We don't know what we're faced with. But the important thing is that we find ways to cope with it, especially if our lives have changed immensely. So yeah, and so it's going to be our little virtual community. It's going to be awesome.
And also, I don't know about you, but I think as a parent, my daughter responds so well to structure. And if that structure from a school isn't there anymore, then what we are trying to do with Live Life Well is create that structure, create that routine throughout a day so that you don't kind of like float around wondering what's happening next. So what we're going to try and do with the Live Life Well is people wake up, there will be something for them. There'll be something for them to do. When your child has their breakfast, after breakfast, what are we going to do next? Be it a life coaching session, business coaching, yoga, there may not be the same thing every day, but you can you can book on to what is most applicable to you and your family. Or if you're not even a family, if you're working alone at home, that's an incredibly isolating space to be in. So business coaching, life coaching may be just talking to people and knowing that you are not alone is something that we can really, really get out there. Some of these
things. And I think also some of the sessions, if people want, we could have little parts of the session where we just chat. Yeah, just a good old natter. And so I think, like you said, it's uncharted territory. So we're just going to start, and we'll respond to what people are asking for as well. So it could change. It could change, what we're offering. We just want to do whatever we can to help people. And, I mean, there will be a slight cost, but not a huge cost. We've got to obviously try and keep on going ourselves. But we want to try and make it really affordable because, of course, people are worried about money. And, well, like you say, you might have a business coach or, so it's finding ways to really support people through all these worries.
What I also want to say as well, sorry to interrupt, is with your expertise as well, people will be able to do one-on-ones with you, potentially contact you independently. It doesn't just end with that group session, does it? There's other resources.
Yeah, and and so we will respond to requests, and also, like you say, we could do group sessions, we could do one-to-ones, and who knows, but we just want to make sure we're doing our bit to help those who need us, really. And it's exciting to be working in partnership with the Cheltenham Wellbeing Festival, the Live Life Well girls, because we all feel the same. We all feel really, really dedicated to well-being. It's just something that we really feel it's so important. It's not something we do, it's just who we are.
Kindred spirit.
Sounds a bit naff, doesn't it? Sorry, but it's true.
If you've just heard the news that schools are shutting and you've got children who are very different in their age ranges, what would you say is the best thing they can do to try and cope in those circumstances? What resources should we be giving these kids?
Oh, well, there's lots of things. What would be really, really, one of the things that I always find useful when I work with children or, do sessions with children with a big age variety is actually give the older children responsibility, give them tasks, give them, so for example, if you're doing an activity that needs some decisions to be made or can be changed, get the older children to decide things or get them to help the little ones. So you don't always have to be leading something. You don't always have to be directing the activities. You could actually say to your older children, well, here's this activity. Why don't you take your little sister, your little brother, and show them and try that? One of the things I do a lot of are active stories. So active stories are great for a big variety of ages. But once again, if you want to get your child doing a little bit of schooling, get them to write, if they're at the writing age, get them to write their story. And then you can act it out. So the older ones and the younger ones can do that. We talk about differentiation with children in physical activity, PE. And the idea is, how can you make things easier for little ones and harder for older ones? So thinking about just making slight changes, they can all be engaged. Movement to music, put on some music and just get everyone dancing. And, we have to, sometimes adults find it uncomfortable. We've got to kind of get over ourselves, because actually we need to just have moments of play in the months to come. We need to just kind of have those times where we let off steam and maybe just dancing like crazy to music. That you can do with any age. So I mean, there's lots of things that you can do, but those are sort of my little mini top tips.
I think we should regularly check in with your top tips as well, because I think that it will change as this situation changes. The other last point I just kind of wanted to finish on, which I guess I will finish with an uplifting point, because this might not necessarily be one, but what do you say to your child? What do you say to your elderly relative who may be really struggling and really anxious about the situation, but unable to express or really understand exactly what is going on? I know we're all struggling with what's going on, but for children and elderly people in particular, it's a very uncertain and troubling time.
Well, I think there's a rule of thumb with young children. When there's time of transition or something difficult happening, it's really important to be honest with them, but in a sort of age-appropriate way. So do explain to them what's going on, but you don't have to give them the gory details, just so that they understand. Because if they don't know what's going on, their minds will run away with it, and they will really, they'll think the worst potentially. So it's just keep them, up to date with what's going on. And, and just actually, it's okay to show your children that you have moments where you worry. And it's actually really important to show children that things aren't always okay, because that teaches them resilience. And then you work with them and help them to figure out how they can make it better. That's, I mean, in a way, this is a perfect way to help children to build lifetime resilience, isn't it?
I suppose.
Let's try and find some kind of positive.
Every cloud.
Yeah. For older people, I mean, I guess that's a slightly harder question to answer, because they might have lots of different reasons why they feel anxious. I think loneliness and isolation is going to be a big problem. So I would say, if you have a parent or an elderly relative who's not online, figure out how you can get them online, and figure out now, and get them on Skype, show them how to use Skype. Or if they've got a phone, help them to work out how to video call, just so that they can have that contact, because I think that's going to be a very, very, very hard thing. And not just for the elderly, for many people, if we go into lockdown, or people in self-isolation. I'm fortunate because I'm in self-isolation right now, but with my beautiful man. And yeah, so it's hopefully we'll survive this, but I'm sure we will. No, as in without.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where you're going with that.
No, hopefully our relationship will. No, but it will, because obviously we're now at heightened levels of anxiety. So we've also got to figure out ways to cope with the anxiety, because normally maybe the one will be supporting the other one and so on. But everybody, no matter how well they cope in life, there's now an added level of anxiety. So, and I mean, so my boyfriend and I've already agreed we're going to try and get out to the country as much as we can, just get fresh air, but actually do a lot of yoga, because we both know that's a really good way for us to deal with pressures of life. And it's also a very good, kind thing to do to ourselves.
Exactly. Well, talking about, sharing and living in isolation, you've actually hit exactly what another part of Live Life Well and Cheltenham Wellbeing Festival, what we're asking people to do, if you've got some free time, is write 500 words. Write your story, because at the moment, we are not just living in history, we are making a brand new history, and a brand new world is going on right now, and we want to learn those heartwarming stories. We want to hear from everybody how they're coping, what they're doing, and what life means to them right now. So if you do want to check out Facebook and you click on Living in Isolation, you type that into your search bar, you'll come up with a page which has anecdotes, it has the memes, but what we'll be launching very soon is a space where we would like people to submit 500 words and share their stories. And what we've just touched on today, the Live Life Well, this online program, will be launching very, very soon. So if anyone out there is interested and wants to sign up, you will be seeing a lot more of what you can do and where you can be moving and connecting with everybody very, very soon. So I guess I just want to say an absolute massive thanks to Tania for her time today in self-isolation. And just thank you so much for everyone.
I'm sitting on the stairs.
I can see, yeah, she can't even go up the stairs.
No. I was looking for good Wi-Fi connection.
Well, I think we're all going to need very good Wi-Fi.
We're going to need good Wi-Fi. Oh dear. Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much. It's been good talking to you, and I look forward to hopefully talking to lots of people via the web. What do older people say? The interweb.
The interweb. So thank you for watching, guys, and in the meantime, please just keep safe. If you feel unwell, if you've got any symptoms at all, make sure you are self-isolating, and make sure you're washing your hands and singing happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you.
You just give me an idea.